Welcome back to the Bear Cave Watch Reviews. I'm your host, Papa Bear, and today I've got something a little bit different to show you. As you can tell by the box, we are going to do an Invicta watch review today. However, if you've watched my other videos, you know that I have a preference for diver watches. That being said, I have been working on diversifying my collection, so I got another diver watch. Actually, I got two. However, these are a little different. They sit on cushion style cases and they're not direct homage watches of anything like that. So I want to give you the Invicta Pro Diver Model 6053, which is, in my opinion, a very nice looking watch, one that is not being made anymore. This watch is several years old. I got it secondhand. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. This is the Master of the Ocean. That's what it's called. And I will show you it real quick here. A real quick view of it. It's got the black bezel insert, a really nice dial with applied indices, the numbers at the 9 and the 6, a date window at the 3, and a chapter ring in red with orange numerals. It's a really nice watch. We'll go over it. It's a very cool alternative to a Submariner homage watch, and it was a steal. Now, I did say I got two of them. I also got the 6056, which is the same watch in orange, and I'll just show it to you really quick. Has the orange bezel, orange track with the blue numbers inside and a blue second hand. Same black, beautiful face, same links, blah, blah, blah. So we're not going to talk about this one today. What we're going to do is we're going to go over this one. Let me just clean it up a little bit here. Okay, so this is the Invicta 6053. And let's go over the basics. Case diameter of 45 millimeters across. Case thickness 14. The bandwidth is 24, so it does have a beefy band. It is stainless steel. The case, the back, the band, the clasp. Okay. Mineral crystal. This is before Invicta came out with the flame fusion, as they call it. And it does have the NH35A movement, so it is a very nice, reliable movement. It does say it has 100 feet of water resistance. It does not have a screw-down crown, although it does have a nice signature on it, but it is actually just a pulled back crown, but there you go. So, how did I get this watch, what I love about it, and what I don't like about it? So, I was driving around one day and I stopped at a local pawn shop, and I know I've said this on the channel before, but I love to go into pawn shops to see not just what watches are available, but just in general, just check out the stuff that some people sell, okay? And I saw this one and its twin brother, and I looked at them, I negotiated with the manager, and I got them for a really, really good price. And why did I negotiate? Basically, I don't really like paying full retail when I'm buying a secondhand watch. And as you can tell, there's no big scuffs, there's no scratches, the crystal's in a really, really good shape. The bracelet is in really nice shape. Just a really nice watch, and the orange one is just as nice. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get them both. Now, the stainless steel is nice enough. It does have the brush. It's got no real shine to it except right there on the curve of the bezel. I'm sorry, of the case by the lugs. But that's really much it. The rest of it is all done in that really nice satin brush. It does have the NH35A in it, so it's got a tried and true movement, which isn't going to disappoint. It actually looks really, really nice, especially on the wrist. And speaking of wrist, customary wrist shot, I am wearing a flex watch, and I am going to go over this watch later on because it's not a typical timepiece. It's just a watch that's for a good purpose. So, one thing that I do like about this watch that my other pro divers do not have, other than the cushion style case, is the lume on this watch is much better than the other pro divers. I'm not going to pop a loop shot on here. I'm just telling you the hands glow much brighter, as do the indices. So that's a real big plus, especially for a watch of this age. One thing that is also different is that there's no cyclops on the date, so it just gives it a little different look, which I like. Now, one thing that I don't like, when this watch came out, the MSRP, which of course Invicta is known for inflating better than any other company, was $595. Now, when you look at Invicta, there's not a lot of watches that you're going to want to pay that much for. Even this nice piece right here, I wouldn't pay $600 for it. So that's just something that, even when I first released it and I remember seeing it, I thought, yeah, that price is a little too much. And the other thing that I don't really care too much about, but I've kind of gotten used to it after wearing it a few times, is it's much heavier than the regular Pro Diver. It's just a little bit beefier. The band is bigger, so it just weighs it down a little bit. But I'll show you what it looks like on the wrist here real quick. It is a little bit bigger, so it definitely has more presence on the wrist than the regular Pro Diver. And I have a big wrist, but I see it. It's pretty nice and big, but it fits comfortably. There's no, the curvature's right there. So yeah, it's a nice fitting watch. It's just a little bit heavier. I did notice it the first time I wore it. I was like, wow, definitely a little bit beefier than the other one. Now, overall feeling of the watch, like I said, I've been trying to diversify my watch collection this year, and I was doing really well. I picked up a few different pieces, and I wasn't going to acquire any more divers, at least not till later on in the year. But when I ran across these two, and they were in such good shape, I had to pull the trigger on them. I said, you know what, I'm going to get them, and just I'll hold off on other divers later in the year. So again, I do highly recommend searching for bargains on like Facebook Marketplace, Let Go, Poshmark, Craigslist, pawn shops. If you ever see an estate sale, that's always a good place to go in and look for some watches. People are trying to let go of them at a decent price. So again, this is the Invicta 6053. They don't make it anymore, so you'd have to look for them secondhand. If you find one as nice as this example is, and you can get it for a good price, I highly recommend it. Yeah, you won't feel bad about doing it. It's a really good looking watch, and it's not a direct copycat or direct homage to other watches, and that's something that is lets me know that Invicta can make nice looking watches when they're not busy putting 63 millimeter monstrosities out on the market, which I do constantly complain about. I don't like those big watches. I think that they're alienating people that want to wear, this is 45. I think this is the biggest I can get on my wrist without it looking silly. So that's what I think a lot of people want, is watches that aren't overly big. But again, as long as it makes you happy, then go for it, So let me just put it back on the wrist to say goodbye to the video. This has been the Invicta Pro Diver 6053 in the black execution. Again, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.